Hello guys, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to discuss our question isomorphic string. So let's discuss our question first. In the input, we are given two strings, let's say S1 and S2. What we are required to check whether these strings are isomorphic or not. Okay. If yes, if it's isomorphic string, we have to simply return true. If not, we have to return false. Now you must be wondering, what is an isomorphic string? Let's discuss it. So it is an isomorphic string if every character of string 1 can be completely mapped to a string 2 character. Okay, let's see it with the help of example. So let's say here a character is mapped to x, right? X of string 2, right? A is mapped to x. What about B? B is mapped to y, right? As you can see, B is mapped to y, C is mapped to z. So here, perfect. Now we are at A. Here also we see that A this time also is mapped to X. Perfect. Again we check. B is mapped to Y. Perfect. C is mapped to Z. Perfect. And D is mapped to M. That is a new character. So that is also perfect. So yes, this is an isomorphic string and we have to simply return true. Right. So that's our question. Now let's see some more example when our string is not isomorphic. Okay. So let's say this string. Okay. So when it is an isomorphic string, when every character of string 1 can completely be mapped to every character of string 2. Right. So let's say these are both strings. Now let's try to map character and see if we can map it completely or not. So here we are mapping A with X. Okay, perfect. We are mapping B with Y. All right. We are again mapping A with X here. As we can see, we mapped X with A earlier. Here also X is mapped with A, so that is also valid. Now we see that this time for this character, A is mapped with a new character, right? A should be mapped with X, but here A is mapped with X. A is mapped with Z, sorry. So that means this is not a isomorphic string, right? As here, this character is mapped with Z, right? And it should have mapped with X, right? Because all A should be mapped with X, right? So this is not isomorphic string. So we have to return false, right? Because they are not completely uniquely mapped. See here, every character of S1 should be mapped with character of S2, right? So here the condition is not valid, so we will return false, right? Let's see one more case. Now let's see what is happening. So here for this string are S1 and S2. Let's see if it is a isomorphic string or not. I want you to understand first what is a isomorphic string, right? So here our character A, it is mapped with M, right? B is mapped with N, okay? B is mapped with N, that is also fine. C is mapped with O, okay? A, again we check A. A here is mapped with M and it should be mapped with M, right? So okay, this is also fine. B is mapped with N, it should be mapped with N, so that is also valid, right? E is mapped with P. E is mapped with P. Okay, so this is also valid. E is mapped with P. Now, very important point. Here, see, F is mapped with M, right? But we have already mapped. We have already mapped M with a different character. So if that is also the case, that means it is not a isomorphic string, right? So we have seen that there are two cases, right? There are two cases when our string is not isomorphic. What was the first case? When a character is mapped with a different character, right? When, for example, A was mapped with X earlier and it is mapped with a different character now. So it is not isomorphic. What else? When you map a character to a character that you have already used, right? As here we have already mapped M in the past. So these are the two conditions that we should have take care. If any of this condition is true, so we have to simply return false, right? So now let's see how we are gonna solve our problem, right? So we know that there are two conditions that we have to handle. So for that, we are going to create two hash map this time. Yes, you are right. Two hash map. One hash map is going to store character of string 1 and character of string 2. What else? The other hash map is going to store character of string 2, right? Character of string 2 and boolean. Why is that? Let me tell you. Right. The first hash map is checking which character of string 1 is assigned with which character of string 2. Perfect. And what this hash map is taking care of, that we have assigned the characters, whether we have assigned the characters of string 2 or not. Because if you have assigned one time, you can't assign it again and again, right? So now let's see how we are going to approach this. Okay, so here it is a, and we see a is the new character, so we are going to simply store it here a, and with the character of string 2, that is x, right? Let me show you with the blue pen, it will be better visualize. Okay, a and x, and now here what we are going to do, we are going to mark x as true, right? Now what else, we go to b and we mark it, right? And then in the second map, you are going to mark it true, right? Now you again go to C, and C is all not present, right? C is not present in your map. So you are going to place C here and with Z, right? And then here we are going to check, and it is also not present. So we are going to, we have to mark it true, right? Now it again goes to A, and we see that currently we are here, right? We see that A, that our map already contains A. Now what we have to check, whether the value that it assigned to A, that our A got mapped with earlier, is it the same? Is it the same? Is it X? Yes, we check our hash map. Yes, it is X. So if it is X, then it's valid, then we'll move further, right? Now we are going to move further, and now we are at B. For B, we check if our hash map contains B. Yes, our map contains B. So we check if the character that is assigned, is it Y, right? Yes, it is Y. So then again, we move ahead. Now we get to C. We check if our map contains C. Yes, our map contains C. What is the value that is mapped to C? So it is Z. So we are going to check here, is it Z? Yes, it is Z. So we are going to move further, right? Now see, that's the important point. Now we check that we got D, right? So what? We are gonna place D here. X, Y, Z. Yeah, we are gonna place D here with M, right? And here also we are gonna place D and validate it, right? So that's what we'll be doing. Now, what I want you to see, that why this is helping us, right? Now, I want to go back one step. To show you something really important. Okay, so let's say here instead of M, we had X, let's say, right? So here let's say we had X. Now what we are gonna do, let's see. So here we see that D, we got D, so it's a new character. We are gonna check if our hash map contains it, if our map 1 contains it. So we are gonna place it D with X, right? Now what we are gonna see, if D's value, right, X, if our second map, if you have already used X, if you have already mapped X somewhere, so yes, we have already mapped X somewhere. As you can see, here it is true. So we are gonna return false, it is not an isomorphic string. So that's why our second map, our character boolean map, is helping us to check whether we have already mapped it or not. Okay, so that's it for the explanation. Now code it. Code is similar to what we discussed. Okay, so now let's code it. Perfect. So first, of course, we will be needing hash map. So let's create our first hash map of what type? Of character and character, right? I'm gonna call it map. the new hash map. So this is our first hash map. Now our second hash map, it will be of character, the keys will be character and the value will be boolean type, right? So boolean, I'm gonna call it my map 2, right? Or the new hash map. So we created our both of the hash maps. Now what we are gonna do, we are gonna simply traverse. We are gonna traverse our string. Also one more important point. Here as you can see, it is mentioned that length of S1 is equal to S2. What does that mean? That S1 and S2 will always be of same size. Because we know if they are not of same size, that means they are not isomorphic, of course. Are you getting me? Because let's say we got a string ABC and A, and not A and let's say and E. So can they be isomorphic? No, of course not, because you can't map B and C with something, right? So that's what it is mentioned here, that is already handled. It's already handled. Right. So what we are gonna do, we know they both are of same length. We are gonna do nothing and traverse, right? For int I is less than s dot length, string dot length I plus plus. Now what I am going to do is extract the character of my string 1. I'm gonna call it C1 s dot caret I, right? And my character 2 t dot caret I. Now I will have two cases. What are those two cases? Let's see. If my map, what is my map storing? That which character of string 1 I have assigned to which character of string 2. So what I'm gonna check, if map dot contains key, if my map already contains that character, right? That's what I'm going to check. So there will be two cases, if my map already contains my character or not contains, right? I'm gonna perform different things for both of them. So what? So what if my map already contains my character, right? If map already contains my character, then I have to check that if the value, let if map dot get C1, it should be equal to C2 value, right? So if it is not equal to C2, I'm simply gonna return false. So let's see what I'm talking about here. So as we discussed here, that if it is present, right, here A was already present, so A should be mapped with X, but here it is not mapped with X, it is mapped with Z, so we are simply gonna return false. So we did the same, right? Now in the else, let's think what we will be doing else, right? So here we have to check that if now we have to take care of the condition that we have not already mapped. We have already not mapped a character, right? As here, as we just saw, that here M was already mapped, right? M was already mapped with A. So you can't map it with someone else, right? So we are going to check if map2 dot contains key C2 is equal to true. What does that mean? That we have already mapped it. We are gonna return false, right? Else what we are gonna do? We are gonna simply put it. So map dot put character of string 1 and character of string 2, right? And I have to also mark it. So map 2 dot put character 2 with a true, right? I am marking it, right? So if any of this condition is not true, then I'm going to simply return true. Yes, it is an isomorphic string. Now let's try running it. Okay, now submit it. Perfect, passed. So that's it for this video. If you liked this, do not forget to like, comment and share. Thanks for watching.